Hello and welcome to this tutorial. This is Pam Obasa from The Lucrative Lady, and in this tutorial I want to show you how to build landing pages using Clickfunnels. Clickfunnels is one of my favorite tools. I have grown an incredibly successful business because of the tools that I use, and Clickfunnels is one of those tools. I just absolutely love it. Now, this video that you're watching right now is part of a whole series for how to create sales systems and sales funnels inside of Clickfunnels. So we're going to be linking out to the other videos below this one. So make sure that you check out the full length video where I'm going to be walking you through how to build funnels, etc. Not only that, if you watch this and you don't have a Clickfunnels account, I have created an incredible bonus for you worth $997. So check out the link below this video for how to access that bonus. So if you want to see more tutorials like this, make sure that you subscribe to this channel and turn on your bell, because we publish 3 times a week and I create in-depth tutorials such as the one that you are seeing right now. So do me a favor, as I'm really working hard on growing this channel, subscribe to this channel, give it a thumbs up and turn on your bell so that YouTube will push this video to other people to see. So let's dive into the tutorial. Let's dive into creating so I can show you how to create from scratch. Remember, feel free to start with a template. So to create from scratch, I'm going to begin with the squeeze page over here. I'm going to scroll all the way down to, I want to create from a blank document. So I'm skipping all of these lovely templates to here, opt-in blank start. So I'm going to click over here to select template, and that's going to load up for me into my account. Brilliant. So now it has loaded up, and now I actually have a page to begin. So you can see what I said earlier, where whatever you change over here affects just this opt-in page. So the gray section affects the single page. The blue section affects all of the pages universally. Now, to begin creating, the first thing you want to do is to click on edit page. Before we even do that, let me show you this. Now, you can, once you have edited your page, you can come over here to click on create variation if you want to create what's known as split test. So, but that's a little bit advanced, and we may talk about that a little bit later, but for now, let me just show you how to create a page from scratch. I'm going to click on over here to edit page over here. So because I am editing a page from scratch, you can see that it says blank starter template. And in fact, to make it, really blank, I can just click X and just remove this over here. And then we know that we are truly starting from afresh, right? And I can even remove this over here. And then we're starting from scratch. So there's nothing here. I'm going to be creating from afresh. So before we begin, let me just show you around what we can see here. When you click on this button, it takes you all the way out. Be careful before you click that. Make sure you click over here to save everything that you see. Now, we are currently building on desktop view. At one point, I will be showing you the mobile view so that you make sure that everything you build on desktop translates to mobile. It isn't always like that, right? We don't tend to use this. These are to do with apps. Settings, this is very, very important. We're going to come over here later on where I'll be showing you how to integrate this into your email autoresponder, how to add in SEO, tracking data, SMS if you want SMS, and the general settings that you might need. We're going to talk about that later. Over here, if you have a pop-up for your opt-in, this is where we're going to edit all of those settings, and this is like going to undo or redo something. That's what these are. But over here, these are the sections that you really need to know about. So there are really 4 main sections when it comes to building a funnel inside Clickfunnels. You have the main section, then you have what's known as rows, then you have what's known as columns, and then you have what's known as elements. And the best way to show you what they are is to actually build the funnel to show you what they are. And of course, you can click over here to preview your funnel or your page as you build it. And of course, you want to hit this button very, very often to save all of your changes. Now, let's begin. The first thing you want to do if you are building from scratch is you want to start by adding a section. So you can see that if I hover over here, it's asking me to add a new section, which is here, right? Add a section. So if I click over here, there are really 4 types of sections that you can add. You can add a full width section, you can add a wide section, medium section, or a small section. Now, remember earlier where I showed you this specific template? Well, I'm going to show you how to build this thing, but how to build it from scratch. Really, really, really easy to do. And I'm going to have my own slight modifications to it, right? So looking at this, the reason why I'm showing you this is because oftentimes you can see somebody else's page and, I want you to understand how to build it just by looking at someone else's page. It's really easy to look at somebody else's page and understand how to build it if you understand how to use Clickfunnels. So let's have a go at building this page from scratch. So Now, the first thing I want to do is choose my width. Now, you have full width, which basically means that it's the whole length of the desktop, right, of the page. You have wide, which is a little bit smaller. You have medium, which is even smaller. And you have small, which is super duper small. So when I start building anything, I always start with either wide or medium. And if I look at this example, I can tell that they have probably used either medium or wide, actually. So let's start with wide here. So that's the first thing we want to do. Once we have done that, there are several things that you can do. So over here, so this, you're going to have to get used to the colors as well. So green is for sections. Now you can modify the sections by clicking on this gear, this cog icon over here, which are settings, right? So this is where you can move things up and down. You see the margin is moving, right? You can add a background image. This is where we selected wide. So imagine if I had selected, let me move this down a bit so we can see. If I change this to medium, for example, can you see that this is now smaller? And if I change this to small, for example, can you see that it's super duper small, right? Etc. So I'm going to change it back to wide. And over here, you can add in background color, change the color of text. The padding just basically means, you know, it's going up and down. The bottom, the left hand, the left and right, and so on. So these are things that you can play with, and several other options over here for mobile, desktop, and all, etc. Right? So let's stay over here on desktop because we are building. In fact, no, let's go on all. Let's build on all of the variations of mobile and desktop. So we have our section. The next thing we want to do is click over here to add a row. So remember, so we've done the section. Now we want to do the row. So hover over here and you can see that it's asking you to add a row. So I'm going to click this, and over here, it's asking me to add how many columns do I want in my rows. Do I want 1 column, 2 columns, 3, 4, 5, 6, left sidebar, right sidebar, etc. So let me show you what that looks like. Imagine if I wanted a row that had 3 columns. This is what it would look like, right? So it's got 3 different columns. I can even move this and make 1 column smaller, make it all the same size, etc. All I'm doing is just moving this across to make it to work for me. So you can see that if I hover over to the right hand side over here, I can edit the section. If I hover over to the middle, this blue section is me editing the row. So for the row, I can again, on the blue, click on the cog and make a lot of settings, change the width, the padding, and all of these things if I want to. And the orange are the elements which we haven't done just yet. So what I'm going to do, however, is go back over here because I had created 3 rows. So I'm going to delete it. Now, how do I delete it? Again, I'm going to hover over the blue because the row is what I want to delete. You want to be really careful because if you hover over here and you hover on the green, if you delete the green, it's going to delete the entire thing. If you don't want to do that, make sure you are hovering over the exact thing you want to delete. And in this case, it's the row. And so therefore, it's the blue that I'm deleting. So the more you use Clickfunnels, the more you're going to get used to all of the colors and you know what you're deleting. So to hit delete, all I need to do is to hit delete over here. If I was happy with it and I wanted to duplicate and clone it, I hit clone and now I have 2. But I don't want either of those, so I'm going to delete both of them. Let's delete the second one over here. Delete. Instead, what I do want is just 1 column row. So here we are. So now I have a section and I have a row. The next thing I need is to add an element. That is what Clickfunnels is asking me to do now. It's saying, Pam, so what do you want people to actually see? Because guess what? They won't see the section and they won't see the row, but the element they will see. So let's add an element. So over here, I'm going to click on add new element over here. Now, can you see all of the elements that we can add? There are loads over here. You can hit the search bar to find what it is that you are looking for. There's also a shortcut over here. So if I wanted to add a form element, I click on form and it will show me the form specifically. If it's a text element, I click on text and it will show me that specifically, countdown, etc. But let's leave it on all. So you can add headline, subheadline, paragraph, bullet list, quote, images, pop-up video, all sorts of things. Forms you can add, advanced, so SMS sign up, countdowns, all sorts of other element, progress bars, dividers, image list, miscellaneous elements, and of course, custom, HTML, JavaScript. This is where you find it. So there's a whole bunch of stuff we want to add here. Now, this is the page that I'm showing you how to create. So the first thing I want to do is I want to add the first line, which is a text element. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to click on headline over here. So text, so add large call to action headline over here, right? So I have added that. So now I can add the text. I can actually copy this because I'm just using this for example purposes. And now I see here, I can look at this, or I can see it's in italics. I'm going to go back and do that. So once I have selected this, you can see that I have more settings. I can make it bold, italics, underline, strike through, etc. The next thing I want to do is I want to add this part, right, which is a headline. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hover over on this element. I'm going to hit the plus here, and it's going to give me more elements. So I want to add a headline over here. So now I'm going to go over here. I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste over here. So I'm just showing you how to recreate something that you've already seen. Obviously, this goes without saying. If you're going to be recreating something that you've seen, please do not use that copy. You will be in trouble. I would never use this type of copy. Of course, I would always create my own. But just for the purpose of this, it just saves me a headache. So I can use this. I might modify some of it, who knows. But let's keep moving. So now I can see that there's a whole bunch of things happening to this that hasn't transferred to this. So I can see, for example, that launch is underlined. I can also see that they have used their own branding colors over here. So I'm going to highlight this and underline launch, the word launch over here. How to launch your very own squeeze page in just 10 minutes or less. I'm going to change the copy. How to launch your very own digital product funnel, as I'm doing a funnel, how to launch your very own digital product funnel. It's two ends. Digital product sales funnel in just 10 minutes or less, because that is what I'm creating right now, right? 10 minutes or less. Okay, let's underline that. Very own squeeze space. Let's make that in bold. Very own sales funnel. Okay, over here. So now, and in just 10 minutes or less. Now, if I want to change the color for this, there are a few things that I need to do. I can go over to settings over here. Oops. So hover over on the orange, go to settings over here. Now the bold color and the text color, this is where I'm going to make the majority of my changes, and I'm also going to change the size. So I want this to be a different size to this, just as it is here, right? This is marginally bigger than this one, okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go here, right, and change the size. So the font size is currently 32. I'm just going to move this until I am pretty much happy. I want it to be on just 2 lines. So let's take it down a bit over here, right? I also want to change the color. So I'm going to keep the text color as bold. I'm going to change the background color. Now, if you know the hex code for your brand colors, find it over here. I don't have mine at the top of my head, so I'm just going to select. Oh, I don't actually like any of these pinks. Let me just find something that remotely looks like something that I might enjoy using. Okay, I don't like any of these. Let's just keep it simple for the sake of this and keep it moving. Okay, so I've selected red. Let's imagine this was my brand color. So now I have changed all of the text, but you can see over here that only some of the text is in orange, right? So now what I want to do is over here, I want to hover back. So go back to settings, and the text color is already black, and the bold color is already black. So what that tells me is that everything is in bold. So I'm going to double click and I'm going to actually remove the bold, and instead I'm going to bolden what I want to be bolded. So I want to keep 10 minutes bold and very own squeeze page bold. So over here, I'm going to click over here, 10 minutes, make that bold, very own digital product funnel. I'm going to make that bold as well, right? So it's looking a little bit more like the example that we are creating. The other thing you'll notice is that the font is different, right? So you could choose to keep this font as it is, or you can hover back over here and over here to select a family font over here. This is where we want to select the font. So if I click over here, there are loads of different options. I quite like Lato, which I quite like to use. Sometimes I use Noto Serif over here, which is quite nice. This one is interesting. So, I do not like that at all. Okay, I don't even think I like this. I think this is nice. This is nice, but I wouldn't use this for a headline. I would use this for if I was building a sales page and I needed specific words to stand out, then I might use that. So for the purpose of keeping it simple, for your headline, you definitely want it to be really legible. You don't want people to have to struggle to read it. So keep it safe. I keep it safe and I just use Lato for the headline over here. So you can see that so far we have done this and we have done that. The next thing we want to do is that we have a sub headline over here, right? We have a sub headline over here. So it says, tired of the tech weighing you down. Okay, let's go back. So to do this, I want to click on over here on add new element over here. This time I could click on sub headline over here to make it a little bit smaller. I'm going to come back, copy the text, which I'm then going to modify again. Please do not use somebody else's text. All right, this is very, very important. So over here, I want to make it a little bit smaller, right? So I'm going to hover over here and I am going to make it smaller. So maybe let's keep it at 22 over here. Then I'm going to read this to see where I can modify the side of tech weighing you down. You're not alone. It's time to drop the ball and chain from complicated sequences, splitting headaches and straight up overwhelm. Download the guide today. So I could say ready to launch your own income boosting digital product without the tech weighing you down. Here we are. You see that? Simple modifications. And now you have brand new copy. Ready to launch your own income boosting digital product without the tech weighing you down. You're not alone. It's time to drop the ball and chain from complicated sequences. It's time to drop the ball and chain from complicated sequences, splitting headaches, and straight up overwhelm. It's time to drop the ball and chain. What can we put here? Right, so modify the copy to suit you. So over here I might say it's time to drop the ball and chain from the complicated tools and tech, splitting headache, straight up overwhelm, and get started in a matter of minutes. Download the guide today. I might actually put this on a separate line over here. Over here, I'm going to make this in italics, this one here, just to make it stand up. Ready to launch your very own income boosting digital product without the tech overwhelming you down. You are not alone. It's time to drop the ball and chain from complicated tools, tech, splitting headaches, and straight up overwhelm, and get started in a matter of minutes. Download the guide today. Right, to be honest, I probably wouldn't use this copy just as it is. I would work on it quite a lot more because copy is my thing. But for the sake of moving forward, I'm not going to play with this any longer because I'm not actually launching this. This is just to show you guys. So this is it. So we have this over here. It's a little bit longer over here. We want to make this call to action in bold so that it really, really stands out over here. I think I'm quite happy with this, to be honest. I might, if I was actually launching this, I might just make this smaller, delete some of this text and make it just really, really punchy over here, right? Yep. Okay, brilliant. The next thing we want to do is this big section over here. Now, how did they add the image? How did they create this form? And how did they add this element in the middle? I'm going to be doing my own modifications over this because if you ever borrow from somebody else's funnel, i.e. you see a design and you're using it, don't ever do the same exact as they are. Make it your own. Put your own stamp on it, right? So that it has your own pizzazz, your own personality and everything to do with you. So make things a little bit different. So that's what we are going to be creating next. Okay, now to build this section, what I want to do is I want to create a whole new section that will cover this, and this. So I can already see that it's in 3 different columns. So this is column number 1, column number 2, and column number 3. Or I could just make it 3 columns and not have this thing in the middle. I think I might do that just to keep it really, really simple. So I'm going to come back to my template over here. I'm going to hover over to the green, and I want another section over here. I think this one I'm going to make it wide again. And this time over here, I'm going to click in the middle to add the row. So now I want 2 columns because I want to just do this column and this column. I'm not going to bother with this in the middle over here. So now I have these two columns. The first thing I want to add is an image. So I've clicked over here to find the element. I want to go down over here to image over here, which is the first thing I'm going to add. So you can see that there's a placeholder there, and I'm going to show you how to change that in a moment. Now in my next column, I have quite a few things to add. So I have a headline to add over here. I have a sub headline to add over here. And then I have the form to add over here, a button to add, and some information over here, and probably an image, which I might skip for the sake of this. So let's start with the headline over here. So first I'm going to hover over to the element over here, and I'm going to click on headline, right? That's the first thing I want. Okay, so I'm going to copy this just for the sake of this. Let's use that. Okay, paste over here. I'm going to modify it later on, but for now I just want to add the things in place before I start making it pretty, changing text. This is often how I build funnels. So first I build the entire skeleton, and then I go back, read every line, and change every single thing, change wordings, images, and just make it really look like Pam's funnel and not like anybody else's funnel. And so I highly recommend that you begin by just putting everything in, and then you start making the modifications. So start with a template initially to begin with. So to add this in, I need a sub headline. So let's go back and hover over here, hit the plus button and select sub headline over here. And I'm going to add the text, right? I need to make a lot of modifications to this, but for now, let's just move on with the template. The next thing I need are my forms so that they can pop in their details. So I'm going to click the plus over here. Now I'm going to go down on the right to the shortcut here and click on form over here. The first thing I want to do is to add an input. So I need one input, and I also need a second one. So I'm just going to clone this one. So now we have two, but you can see that they both say your email address is here, your email address is here, and we definitely don't want that. We want one to say your first name and then the other to say your email address here. So let's go back over here. So I'm going to hover over the first one because I want to change this. Go into settings over here, and I'm going to change the placeholder text. Can you see where it says placeholder text here? Right, in this section over here, I'm going to change it here. So your first name here, that's what it is. Required, you definitely want it to be required. So I want to hit this drop down, required, because I do want your name. And then the input type, this is very, very important. So you want to hit this drop down and click on first name, right? So that it matches. Can you see how it now says first name over here and it says first name over there? So it all matches and it looks good. The next one I want to do is the email, because the input type isn't set. So even though the email, the text is correct, the warning is still showing. So I want to hover over here, right? Go down to input type over here, go to email address, because that's what it is. Over here, your email address is here, it is required, and this is correct. So now these are set. Okay, so now that we have added these input fields, the name and email, these are the two things we want to collect. Now, you might be thinking, but Pam, what if I want to collect their phone number, right? You can, right? It's the same way that you collect their phone number, but you just want to be careful, because the more things you ask of people, the less likely they are to actually convert, just because you're asking for too much information. So if it's just a lead magnet, stick to the name and their email. I have seen a lot of marketers ask for only their email, because the less you ask for, the higher the conversions. So if we go back to the model over here, right, I can see that the next thing I need to add is a button that says show me now. So I'm going to go back down here. I'm going to hit the plus button over here in the orange, hit the plus. I need the button. So let's go down and find it. Here we are. There's a button here. So now I have added the button. Now you can see that there's a warning here, and I don't even like this text. Click to sign up. So I'm going to hover over here, hit the cog over here, change the text to, let's see what it says here. Show me now. I'm actually going to say change to get access. Get access now. Over here, and then the next thing I want to do is to change the color, right, so that it works with my brand over here, right? So I've got it get access now. I might want to make this just a tad bigger. Let's keep it at 22 over here, 22 over here. So I've got get access now. The next thing I want to do is to set action. This is so important, okay? Pay attention. This is so important. Without setting the action, so you can see the warning is still here. It says button action not set. Without this, nothing is going to happen to your funnel. So you need to go over here to set action. Over here, and then you need to hit submit order form, right? Because this is what tells Clickfunnels that we're done with this, right? So it submits it. That means it is now successfully collected the name and email and submitted it to to its system, which will be connected to your email autoresponder. So you've got to make sure that it submits the page over there. So let's look at what else you can do to the button. So there's quite a few things that you can do to the button. You can go over here to themes and you can choose a different style of button. I just keep it simple, to be quite frank. You can go over here to advanced and you can change it. So for example, you might want to add a border. I don't do that, but you might want to add text shadow, button effects. I do this on sales pages. I don't really do it on an opt-in form, but let's just have a look. So you can have a pulse, right? Let's see if it will work. Hold on. Rocking. There we go. Can you see it rocking? Right. This is quite cool. I quite like to use that sometimes. Bounce. There we go. Bounce up and down. See the button moving. Elevate. When you hover over it, it should elevate. I think it only does that when it's actually live. Wobble. It should wobble when you hover over it. Okay. But that only happens when it's live. For now, I'm going to keep it as no effect. Okay. So we have our button over here. So let's have a look at what else we need to add. So we want to add this text here about your data is protected over here. There is an image over here, but I'm not going to bother with that over there. But over here, I'm going to click on the plus here. I'm going to click on add paragraph because it's already smaller. I'm going to just paste that text over here. Okay. Now let's have a quick look. Okay, so this is a lot smaller. So I'm going to change the size and move it up. Can you see that gap is a little bit too wide? So if I want to change that gap, I can go over here to the top margin. Can you see I'm moving it? And this has now moved up. I also want to change this from 16 to maybe 12. Let's see. Okay, yeah, that looks good to me over there, and that's fine. I can also see that the gap between these two fields is just a little bit wide, so I'm going to hover over the bottom one and close the top margin over there. And then, so now I'm just making some modifications. Download your 100% free guide. So free guide, I definitely want to make everything so this is going to be in bold over here. Let me make this my brand color for the purpose of this, which is red. And then I also want to change the size over here to make it pop. Brilliant. Let's see over here. I can see the 100% is over here. Let's see. I'm actually going to make this a tad smaller because I think it is, right? You can see, right, that this column is a little bit smaller. Well, that's because this is actually in 3 columns. This is 1 column, 2 columns, 3 columns, and I'm choosing not to do this middle bit because I don't want to. Okay, so here we are. So again, edit the copy. I'm not going to bother doing that just because I'm not actually using this. This is just for demonstration purposes. Now that we have this section, it's time to add the image over here. So to add your image, the first thing you want to do is to hover over the image, go to the cog over here, click over on image, which is the placeholder over here, and then you can see that we have no images, right? Because this is a brand new account. So the first thing you want to do is upload your image. So let me see if I have an image on my laptop that we can just quickly use. Okay, I'm going to click cancel, and instead I'm going to, so there are a few things you can do. You can either, so I can either save this image and just use that, or I can find an image of my own. So if I go to, okay, if I go here, I can actually just save this, save image as, and then I can actually use my own image over there. So it is over here. Let's see. And then it's going to upload. So I've just selected the image. It's going to upload. And you can see the timer's going. It's pretty quick uploading, which is brilliant. And then once it's uploaded, I'm going to see it in the corner here to show that it is uploaded. So now it's just processing the file. Okay, so the image that I was trying to upload earlier was a little bit too big, and just for the sake of time, I've uploaded something else just as a placeholder here. So once you upload an image to Clickfunnels, you'll see it here. And, you know, as you have more images, they will just fill this page and they will fill several other pages, but you always come here to find your images. And then in order to use the image, you select the image. Once it's selected, you should see it pop up in the left top hand corner over here. And then you click over this green button where it says add image. And once you're there, it adds the image for you on the page. So here we are. So we can see that the image is on the page. There's a few things that, that I would like to change. For example, this image is way too big. For this page, I want it to be probably half the size. So over here, I'm going to make it smaller. So let's try 400. Let's see what that looks like. Oh, here we are. That's a lot smaller. Let's try 500 actually. That's better for me. I mean, to be honest, if we were doing this, I would be using a whole different image, but just use this as a placeholder for the sake of this tutorial. So looking back, we have an image, we have all of this, we have all of that. All we need down here are pretty much your terms and conditions, privacy policy, and all of that. And you can see that it's grayed out, which shows me that it's a whole different section on this page. So if I go back here, I can go down to the bottom over here, and I can go full width for a new section over here. Then I'm going to click on add a row, and I'm going to add one row. And then down at the bottom, I'm going to add a paragraph row here. Right? And so I'm going to just copy this just for the sake of this. Let's just use this placeholder text. Well, there's already placeholder text there that we could have used, but that's fine over here. And then I'm going to change the color because this is gray, light gray. So to change the color, I want to change the color of the entire green area. So I'm going to hover over, hit the cog in the settings over here, and where it says background color, I'm going to select that, and I'm going to select gray. See, that gray is way too dark. So I'm going to use this to just brighten the color so that it's just an off-white gray over there. And there you have it. So I have pretty much created a very similar page to this one, right? So now it's time for me to just make sure that everything looks good, right? So first we want to make this wobble just like this one was over here. This one wobbles over here. Can you see it's moving? The button? Right, let's go back and do that. So over here, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger by changing the font size. Oops, too big over here. Then I'm going to go to advanced to make the button wobble. So down here on button effect, I believe it's the rocking loop. There we are. There we are. I also think my button's a little bit too close to the top. So I'm just going to move this down just a tad over there. And there we have that. So if I look back over here, let's see what else I could have. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. Now, obviously, if this was a real page that I am launching, I would spend a little bit more time on making sure on, the copy. So when you are doing this, make sure that the copy really, really works. The most important thing that people look at, when they're going to get something from you, whether it's for free or it's for paid, is they want to make sure that there is some sort of benefit in the copy. So this one, for example, says how to launch your very own digital product sales funnel in just 10 minutes, right? So it actually has two benefits. One is that you get to launch, right? It's going to show you how to launch, and it's telling you what it's showing you how to launch, right? So you can see that in the messaging, it's covered two things already. And the big thing it's showing you is that you can do it in 10 minutes or less. Wow. How amazing is that, right? So you can see that this one sentence, it really packs a punch, right? And then you can then solidify that with your sub headline over there. And of course, your call to action over here. So this is a very, very, very simple page. You definitely want a better image than this one, for sure. So let me show you some of the images that have worked really well for us. I just want to show you some of the images that have really worked well for us in terms of the type of images that you can create. Something like this has really, really worked well. This page that you're looking at converts at 80%, which is absolutely brilliant. And just so you know, the average conversion rate for an opt-in page, industry standard average is around 20%. So for that page to convert at 80% is absolute bonkers, right? So I would spend a lot more time to make it look a little bit like the example that I have just shown you over there. So let's just close that over there. Brilliant. So that's it. Once you have done that, you hit save over here. And there's a few more things you need to do before you are ready to launch this baby. So the next thing I want to show you is how to make sure that you have optimized for mobile. This is very, very important. The thing to note is that we are mostly on our mobile phones. And so about 80 to 90% of people who are grabbing anything that you are selling will be grabbing it on their mobile. So it's very important to make sure that everything looks good on mobile. So right here on the icon over here, you can see desktop because we are on desktop version. Now to go to mobile, we want to click over here to mobile to see what it looks like. Okay, so I can already see that it looks okay, right? Let's try and scroll down. It looks okay, but there's a few things that I would definitely change on the mobile view. So for example, this view over here, I feel that this is way too big. I also feel that people should be able to grab my lead magnet, i.e. put in their name and their email, and click on this button right within this first window. They shouldn't have to scroll down to find this. This is very important. If you're making people scroll down to find how to actually opt in to your stuff or buy your stuff, you're making them work way too hard, in which case you're going to lose your conversions. It's going to limit your conversions. So I need to make some changes over here to move this up to over here and make this way smaller. Now, to do that, I can't just move everything, because if I move things here, it will affect the desktop version. So what that means is that I need to create two versions of pretty much everything, right? So the first change I want to make is over here on the headline, because on the mobile version, the headline is way too big, and this is all just way too big. So what I'm going to do is on this green over here, I'm going to hit the cog over here. No, actually, the first thing I'm going to do on this green over here, green here, is I'm going to clone this. So I'm going to have two copies, one for mobile, one for desktop. So now I have one here and one here. Then I'm going to move to the settings cog over here, and I'm going to click on desktop only. So what I'm saying to Clickfunnels is I'm saying to Clickfunnels, this version at the top, I want you to show it on the desktop only. And then this version on the bottom, I'm going to click the cog and I'm going to click on mobile only. So now this is my mobile version over here. So now I can make my changes over here without it affecting the desktop. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make this smaller. So let's make this one line smaller over here. Let me see if I can take this even higher. Let's take this up over here. So imagine if you could ... Imagine if I could show you how to, right? So this is way too big. How to launch. I want to make this like half the size over here so that it looks good on mobile, which is very, very important. And then over here, I also want to make this, hold on a minute, let me just make sure. Let's save, go back. Can you see that nothing is being affected? This is still the same size. So I'm on the right track over here. So over here, I want to make this even smaller over here, right? So now so mobile version is looking better because we want to operate on mobile. The next thing I want to do over here is do the same thing essentially. So I'm going to clone this section. So now I have two versions. So version 1 over here is going to be for desktop only, right? So I've clicked desktop, whilst version 2 over here, so hover over to the green, go over to the settings, and I'm going to click on mobile because this is now the mobile version. So now I can move everything around. Right? In order for people to be able to grab this, I need to move everything around. So I need to move download. I need to move this call to action up. So I'm going to move you up here. Let's go. Let's make you smaller. Way smaller. You are the call to action over here. On mobile, I might even remove this. Who knows, right? And then I'm going to move these. Hold on. Actually, I'm just going to move the image further down. Let's move this here. Right? Because really, my priority right now, honestly, my priority right now is to get you to be able to click. That's it. That's really my priority over here. So here, let's move here. Okay, there needs to be some more adjustments. Let's move this up. And the button over here. So let's have a look. So if we head back to the example here, if I shrink it, we can look at what the mobile version looks like. So can you see how everything is shrunken? What they have chosen to do is they have chosen to show their image first before the call to action, which again is fine. Sometimes I do that, but honestly, sometimes I just prefer to take you straight to the call to action and move all of this above the image so that you are not having to scroll to find my call to action. So honestly, you can do it either way. Okay, you can do it either way. So you can have the image first before the call to action or the other way around. Okay. If I'm going to have the image below, however, then I might have another button here that opens a pop-up. So this could have been a pop-up, for example. It didn't have to be a field for your name and your email. It could have been a pop-up. So that works just as well. Okay, so let me just make this a little bit prettier. So move this down a bit. What if I could show you how to launch your very digital product, sales funnel? This should be sales funnel in just 10 minutes or less. So you see, on mobile, I don't even feel that I need this, right? I don't feel that I need this. So I'm going to remove this on mobile. There we are, right? So download so I think I can make this a little bit smaller here. Just there. Download your 100% free guide. Enter your name, email, get access now, no gimmicks or anything else or anything of the sorts, just good old-fashioned template goodness. I'm going to move this up to below here because that's where it belongs. Oopsie, there we go, right just below the button over there. Then I'm going to have some gap here in the margin over here, right? Okay, so in the real world, honestly, I would have another button. I would clone this button and have another one just below the image here. And I would probably link that button so that when they click the button, it jumps them back to this section. That's what I would do in the real world, to be quite honest with you. But here, this looks good. And you don't have to have a second button here. This is just me being picky. This would definitely be smaller, right? But there you have it. So you want to hit save, right? And you want to make sure that the mobile version looks decent, that it looks good, because that's what people are buying into. So now we have the desktop version and you can see that nothing has changed, right? And then we have the mobile version, which is tailored for our mobile viewers, so they can see the headline and they see the call to action and the button. They see it straight away without having to scroll down for ages to get it. Thank you so much for catching that tutorial. Like I said, Clickfunnels is one of my favorite tools. Once again, if you don't already have a Clickfunnels account, make sure you grab my link right below this video and get started for free for 14 days. And you get access to bonuses from me worth $9.97. So make sure you do. Take a look at what those bonuses look like. So I want to walk you through how to get your free bonuses with me if you sign up to Clickfunnels using my link. Complete disclosure, I absolutely love Clickfunnels. Like I've been saying, it's helped me massively with my business. And so I have some amazing bonuses, 3 bonuses actually, bonus number 1, bonus number 2, and bonus number 3 for anybody who signs up to Clickfunnels using my link. Now, first of all, how do you get to this page? You get to this page by going to www.pamobasa.com/Clickfunnels bonus. Okay, that's how you arrive at this page, and I will be linking out, posting the link to that, to this page right under the video. But I just want to walk you through the bonus of what happens. Now, you can get started with Clickfunnels with a 14-day free trial. So that means that over the course of 14 days, you could potentially have your funnels built and even start making money depending on how far you have gone with creating your funnels, and start making money before you even begin to pay for Clickfunnels. So the first bonus that I'm going to be giving you is how to fill your funnel organically. So I give you my complete Facebook organic marketing course. It's called the Facebook Marketing Hacks Intensive, and it's one of the best things that we have created, that a lot of people buy from us, that really teaches you how to use Facebook the free way, right? So it's a highly sought after course, and I show you step by step how to use Facebook as a marketing machine for free, using little known methods that you can use to grow any business without spending any money on Facebook ads. So that is the first bonus. And the second bonus is my high converting done for you social media marketing templates. For this, we give you a total of just over 365 posts that you can use for your business. These winning templates are incredibly high converting and have helped us to generate 6 figures organically. So that means without paying for any ads. And you can customize this to use for absolutely any business. And on the third bonus is that I'm going to be giving you access to my highest converting lead generation funnel, right? So this is something that you can easily swipe and start using inside of your Clickfunnels account straight away. So once you get access to this funnel, you get access to social media posts and you get access to training for how to use Facebook. This pretty much the trifecta for how to grow your business for free. And you get all of this as a bonus just for using my link. Now, how do you use my link? What you do is you click here, where this massive button that says click here to claim your free bonus. And once you click here, it'll take you to open your account on ClickFunnels, which I'll be showing you how to do in a moment. And then, of course, right at the bottom, you have some instructions. So you sign up to my ClickFunnels account, or rather trial, using the button above. And then after you have done that, you wait 14 days and you send an email. You send a copy of your ClickFunnels receipt, right, in an email to me over here at hello@pamobasa.com with the subject, send me ClickFunnels bonuses, please. And my team will get this sent off to you. So once we've checked that everything is valid, we will send you all of the bonuses. So all of the instructions are on this page, as well as all of the amazing bonuses that you will be getting from us. These bonuses are amazing. These are the very things that have helped me to grow my business. And I'm so excited to be able to offer you these bonuses. So the link for this will be below this video. And so make sure you get access to ClickFunnels using my link by clicking on this yellow button. Brilliant. So you know what to do. Grab the link for the bonuses below this video. Now, before we wrap, I want you to check out this video where I share the full video for how to build funnels inside of ClickFunnels. You get to see how I do it and why it's successful. Make sure you check it out right now, and I'll see you in my next video.